discussing. Gary Neville was basically, it was talking about, we need big change in January. Obviously, the question was the board going to back Mourinho in January? That's what Shearer said, before this sacking come. But now we're going to appoint a new caretaker manager. I think it's confirmed Carrick's going to be training as well. But it's going to be someone, this caretaker manager, who's out of the club reportedly. So this is big breaking news. Third manager Manchester United have sacked. Trophyless last season but got second, won 2 trophies in his first season with the club, Jose Mourinho. And he always discusses about lack of intensity, lack of physicality. He says he were convinced we could get top 4 by the end of the year. This is what he basically said, Jose Mourinho. And he does talk absolute nonsense. He always seems to talk about what he's won in the past and, what he's achieved in the past. But it was clearly the players wasn't playing for him. His managerial style wasn't good enough at the club. His style of play wasn't good enough. And he didn't suit the strappings of the club. And this is a big, massive club. So we need the right man to come in with that winning mentality, a guy that suits the trappings of the club and that can get us back competing as well, whether it be Pochettino, Laurent Blanc, Zinedine Zidane. I love Zinedine Zidane, good manager, got a fantastic pedigree, won a lot of silverware, won a lot of individual awards, just like Laurent Blanc, He's currently not managing at the moment, is Zinedine Zidane. He's been potentially spoken as well. He's never played or managed in the Premier League, but I think he's got a good attacking approach about him. Zinedine Zidane played for Juventus as a player, played for Real Madrid as a player and won honours with them, and he won honours as a manager with Real Madrid, and he's set to return back to management soon. Do you think Zinedine Zidane would suit the Manchester United candidate? As I said, but we are a big, massive club. We haven't been getting the targets we want basically since Alex Ferguson left. I think the last major signing we made was Juan Mata, but the rest of them have been average signings. Mourinho obviously was frustrated with lack of investment because obviously the board didn't back him last summer because he wasn't getting the signings that he wanted. But it's going to be interesting to see, how people react to this. His conference is coming on soon, his Pochettino's. But, Mourinho's had his time. He's very, very arrogant. There's other managers out there that are great now. Klopp's doing a very, very good job with Liverpool. He's invested a lot of money and he knows what he's doing. You've got Pep Guardiola, one of the most successful managers now. Right now, 24 trophies in his career. Spent a lot of money on that Manchester City team, as we all know. But we got till the end of the season. We're getting a caretaker manager. It did say if we was to hold on to Mourinho till the end of the season, it would have cost the club less to sack Mourinho. But as it stands now, potentially Mourinho has been officially sacked. He went to the training complex this morning, and Ed Woodward had confirmed that Jose Mourinho had been sacked from Manchester United. Paul Pogba also put a tweet on about it as well. I've been watching Sky Sports on this news about Jose Mourinho, of course. But all in all, in that team, we have spent £700-800 million since Alex Ferguson left. As we all currently know, I'm very, very shocked. I'm very, very shocked, guys, that Jose Mourinho has been officially sacked from this club. Potentially want to get back to the way we was under Alex Ferguson because this team is not comparable. He's not a replica of what that team achieved and did under Alex Ferguson, as I said, and we shouldn't be in the position we're in. That's all down to Mourinho. If most of the players are not playing to the potential level, that is down to management, I'm afraid. And Ed Woodward has basically come out this morning and he has confirmed that Jose Mourinho has been sacked. He's immediately left the club and he has been sacked from Manchester United. Of course, so this is now the third manager that's been sacked. So the board now need to think about, whilst we've got this caretaker manager for the time being till the end of the season, we need the board to think about recommending the right man to come in, change everything around at Manchester United because we're best team in English football historically. We are a big, massive club, and we shouldn't be in the position that we're in because the performances haven't been good enough this season. We've conceded more goals, this season than we did the whole of last season. We've got defensive problems, midfield. We've got problems in the midfield, and we need an attacker as well, as I currently said. But I don't think the players were playing for Jose Mourinho, so we need a new man to come in, build a platform, rebuild into the team, and maybe get rid of players that he doesn't think is good enough. So this new manager, whoever it is, needs to spend some money in January and get rid of the players that are going to leave as well. I think Paul Pogba, there's been rumours about him leaving. I think he needs to leave as well. So this is great news. Jose Mourinho has been officially sacked by Manchester United. I was shocked when I read it up this morning. I thought, Jose Mourinho sacked. Ed Woodward blatantly told him at the training complex this morning that he's currently sacked. The board didn't back him during the course of the summer, as we all currently know, for the signings and stuff. He did sign a contract till 2020 back in January. 144 games he managed with Man United. I think he won 84. He won 84 of them games, but won 2 trophies in his first season, 3 on account of the Community Shield, as I said, and spent over £400 million at Manchester United, Jose Mourinho. But it has officially confirmed. Graham Souness has had a say on the situation. He says Pogba's not good enough for Manchester United. This is what to say. We were mentioning that about it didn't work out under Moyes and the 25-year success we had under Alex Ferguson, and great players we had. And he did well in the transfer markets. He got great players in. We had that great attacking football about us. We had that flair in the team. But since then, there has been no creativeness. There's been no flair in Manchester United's squad since Alex Ferguson left. David Moyes, from Graham Souness' opinion, he didn't get enough time at the club. Then we thought, we can address it out. Van Gaal, maybe it'll do it. He's got a pretty decent pedigree with Bayern Munich and all that. Didn't work out under him. And Mourinho, his Wikipedia will always be there of what he's achieved in the past and what he's won and stuff like that. We all know that, but it just didn't work out for him at Manchester United. Of course, and that is it, really. Nothing much more to say. It's going to be interesting to see what Pochettino's going to say in his press conference that's coming up soon. I think, from Gary Neville's perspective, he has basically said, as Gary Neville, he said he's a great candidate, Pochettino, to take over the job. He has trustworthy young players. In terms of silverware as a manager, hasn't won out, but he hasn't really managed big teams. He's at Tottenham now. He's doing a very, very good job with Tottenham, Pochettino. He's got a 5-year deal with Tottenham as Pochettino, but I wonder if he would be interested now in coming to manage Manchester United to address the problems at the team, sort the team out, get the team playing the way they should be. But it wasn't a good time for Mourinho. The only thing I credited Mourinho for was getting us them 2 trophies in his first season, getting us to the FA Cup final last season, and getting us to the FA Cup final last season as well. But apart from that, I don't credit Jose Mourinho throughout, because he hasn't had a great time here apart from that, because obviously he's had disputes with the top players here. He hasn't had a good relationship with the board either, and I'm shocked at this because yesterday it says he was going to be here for the immediate future. Mourinho was discussing that he still thinks we can get in the top 4 by the end of the year. This is what I said quite a few weeks ago. So it's been confirmed. Mourinho's been officially sacked by Manchester United. So that's the 3rd manager now we've sacked. This is a big club, and he'd have even wrecked the team more. So I'm glad Mourinho's gone, but I'm shocked that they've sacked him. I thought they'd at least give him time to strengthen up in January, see who we could have got in the team. That's what I thought might have happened, and then they might have, let him go at the end of the season. But it has been confirmed with a big club like this, he's not going to put up with nonsense. I'm surprised he's lasted until this time, because the results haven't been good enough this season. We're losing to teams we shouldn't be losing to. And, with Alex Ferguson, we'd lose 6-7 games at top of season. The lowest we ever finished with Alex Ferguson was 3rd. And look at that success that he achieved. Great players he had, Alex Ferguson. And then he left. And then Moyes, it didn't work out. He only lasted 9 months into the job. People been saying, should he have been given more time? And then Van Gaal, didn't really work out with Van Gaal. But this is the worst season now we have had in 28 years since 1990. As I said, and Pogba, as I said, he's put a tweet on it, as I said. So, but Gary Neville was discussing, after the Liverpool game, that there's an incredible level of naivety in the team. We haven't got a central midfielder that can pass a ball. He mentioned about defensive issues. He said there's no spirit in the team. Alan Shearer was discussing that, there's no player playing to their potential level. And then he was discussing, are the board going to back him in January? But obviously now we can't, because obviously Jose Mourinho's been sacked. But he said it's going to be a new caretaker taking over for the time being till the end of the season. I don't know who it is. That's going to be confirmed within the next 48 hours. It's someone outside of the club, but it confirmed Michael Carrick. Reportedly, Michael Carrick is second train for the next couple of days. Would you like Ryan Giggs to take over as Manchester United manager? I think he's been potentially mentioned. Well, he's never really had the great managerial experience. He was a great legend and a great player for United. Obviously, he took over as interim manager about 4 years ago after David Moyes sacking. He only took over for like 3 or 4 games. But in my opinion, I'd like to see Pochettino come in. He has trustworthy in his young players. He has a great relationship with his players. In terms of silverware, hasn't won out as a manager. But, if he comes to United, sorts the problems out, he has the right. I think he has the right style of play about him. I think he can turn. I think he can succeed at Manchester United. So we need to think about as next successor who can come into the club. I think Zinedine Zidane would do a very, very good job if he came into Manchester United, in my opinion. Laurent Blanc has a good relationship with Alex Ferguson. Obviously, highly experienced in France. As I said, and won a lot of individual awards and won a lot of titles. As I said, so I think Zinedine Zidane would be a suitable candidate. There's been talks about Arsene Wenger. He's on the list. I can't see, Arsene Wenger coming in. As I said, but yeah, Mourinho has been officially sacked by Manchester United. As I said, so what new man comes in, as I said, I don't know, but yeah, good news for Manchester United fans. A lot of United fans will be over the moon about this. But Jose Mourinho just potentially wasn't good enough for Manchester United. His team selections were wrong, his tactics were wrong, his style of play at the club wasn't good enough. His managerial style, his style of play wasn't good enough at this club, and the strappings of the club were too high for him. He's getting older now. He's had his success in the past, as we all know, but he didn't do it at Manchester United. I only credited him for getting us to the FA Cup final last season, winning them trophies that he did in his first season, but he didn't meet the expectation levels. The expectation levels would have been for Mourinho to get Manchester United playing the way they should be with the money they've spent, compete for silverware, challenge for major honours. But Mourinho failed to do this, and I think the board and that have come to an agreement now. It's now time for Jose Mourinho to get sacked because a lot of United fans wanted him out, and United are recommending a change. As I said, and yeah, so there has a lot being said on Sky Sports about this. But yeah, it is good to hear that Mourinho has been officially sacked as Manchester United manager. Ed Woodward's confirmed it this morning, and I'm very, very shocked because I was on my phone. I've been in town. I read up and it said Jose Mourinho has been sacked from Manchester United. It said they've paid him off £22 million, I think, for the sacking, and something like that. He was still under contract here until 2020. Was Jose Mourinho, don't forget, but I don't think he had the right philosophy at the club. I don't think he had that stature to command this club forward. And we need a manager that elevates us to that higher level and get us back competing again. So we should have a caretaker manager by the Cardiff game on Saturday, hopefully. But I think that, he's discussed about several injury-prone players as well. He's had a lot of problems. He had a lot of problems at the club, Mourinho, getting on with players, getting on with the board. He had disputes with the board. He had disputes with Paul Pogba. Mainly, he's been known for mainly criticising players. We've had a lot of injury problems this season, defensively as well, as Mourinho's been discussing that. We've got several injury-prone players as well. But it just hasn't worked out for Jose Mourinho. He got sacked from Chelsea 3 years ago on the 17th of December, but we've officially sacked him today. And I think Liverpool was the nail in the coffin. Liverpool were absolutely phenomenal at the weekend, and I think that was it for Jose Mourinho. But according to what I saw in the media yesterday, it basically said, he was still getting back. They may give him time to try and spend some money in January, give him around £100 million to spend in January, reportedly. But Ed Wood has confirmed the sacking of this, and we've had great players over the years. Mourinho bought a full team; he bought 11 players, but these players weren't his main priority targets. As I said, like the last summer, we basically, we could, last year, so we could have got Fabinho instead of Matic. We could have got Nainggolan instead of Matic. We could have got Eric Dyer instead of Matic. Matic is too slow. We missed out on a lot of potential targets, and we haven't been getting his number one targets in these windows. And he wasn't back last summer, Jose Mourinho. But last year, Mourinho got Matic and all that, and Lukaku, whatever. But there were other midfielders that we could have got that were so much better. That could have dramatically improved us as well. But yeah, I think we need a new manager in with good experience, who I think can suit the strappings of this club, take this club forward, and get us back to winning ways and get us back up there, challenging and playing good football. Because this football that we've been playing under Mourinho is atrocious. If you saw the football we played under Alex Ferguson, great attacking football, great flair. And we could go 7-8 games on a trot with Alex Ferguson, winning streak with Alex Ferguson. But as I said, Graham Souness said Moyes should have been given a bit more time. He mentioned the success with Ferguson for 25 years. And this is what he's mentioned. And Gary Neville basically has basically said, he said on Sky Sports, did Gary Neville, that Gary Neville said on Sky Sports that Pochettino would be the right man, the right candidate to come in at Manchester United, and he's aware of the speculation. Reportedly, he did say the other week he was happy at Tottenham because he has been at Tottenham since 2014. He's also managed Southampton in the past, so he has got a good reputation of managing young players as Pochettino. But I'd like to see Pochettino come into the club. The rumours stemmed a couple of weeks ago about that. But yeah, Jose Mourinho totally destroyed the team. He was like, he didn't play Paul Pogba since Southampton. He always seems to have his top players on the bench. He hasn't been, when he was here, he wasn't starting Mata regularly. He hasn't been playing Pogba. Martial was on the bench at the weekend until he brought him on, and he's been mainly bringing Marion Fellaini on as Jose Mourinho. And I think he was clueless at the club. His team selections were wrong. His tactics were wrong at the club. So I think, potentially honest, I think Ferguson will be shocked about this decision. I think they'll all be shocked. All United fans will be shocked about this decision, because I didn't expect this. Today when I was in town, I looked at my phone on a bit of Man United news, and it come up that Jose Mourinho had been sacked. I was absolutely shell-shocked. I thought, well, wait a minute. George Mendes came out with a statement saying he's happy at the club, blah, 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 because the new rumours of him leaving. And then obviously, yesterday came out saying Man United are keeping him for the immediate future, maybe give him time to spend money in January, see if we can win in the club. But it's just come out today that he's officially been sacked, and Mourinho, I bet, is very, very shocked about this. As I said, but can't doubt what he's done in the future. He's won titles everywhere he's been. He has been a successful manager. But as I said, when he was here, you can't compare Mourinho now to the likes of Guardiola at City, Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, even Emery at Arsenal. He's nowhere near on the same levels as them now, and we're nowhere near on the same levels as City, Liverpool, Chelsea. We're nowhere near on the same levels as them. We're not even in the top 10 anymore. But we get this new manager in, fix the problems at the club, and then hopefully maybe get some players in, maybe get some players out, and see what happens. As he currently said, as Gary Neville's had a lot to say about it. Graham Souness said Pogba should be here. He said he's awful. And Gary Neville basically said that he would be the right candidate, would Pochettino. But there has been a list of managers that could potentially take over Jose Mourinho at Manchester United. A lot of money's been spent on this team. We've spent more than City. We've spent more than Liverpool all in all. We've spent a hell of a lot of money on players. And he's discussed about the injury we've got to our players, as I said. But yeah, Mourinho officially sacked as Manchester United manager. We will be doing some more live videos soon, as I said. And so we're going to know who's going to be the caretaker manager in the next 48 hours, according to Sky Sports. We're going to find out who it is as well. But Mourinho officially sacked. Goodbye, Mourinho. Goodbye. The club confirmed it on the statement this morning. He's been officially sacked. And also the club have thanked him for his time at Manchester United. But yeah, hopefully it'll be interesting to see who does come in at the end of the season. But we have got a caretaker manager for now. He's a caretaker manager. He's nothing to do with the club. It's someone outside of the club. But we're going to find out in 48 hours, as I said. So anyway, what do you think of this breaking news of Mourinho being sacked? Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, guys. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.